The Dallas Mavericks bounce back from a disappointing loss in Houston and get a 116-101 win over the Milwaukee Bucks. This is the Gray Area right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. The Dallas Mavericks bounce back and get a 116-101 win over a Giannis-less Milwaukee Buck basketball team, outscoring them 36-17 in the decisive fourth quarter. This was after the Milwaukee Bucks went on a 12-0 run to end the last 1 minute and 58 seconds of the third quarter, where the Dallas Mavericks had actually been up 80-72. That 12-0 run had the Dallas Mavericks down by 4, entering the fourth quarter at 84-80. All those things changed, though, when the unicorn Kristaps Porzingis came back into the game at the 8:01 mark left in the fourth quarter. He went and led the Mavericks on a 10-2 run, winning on a personal 8-0 run, hitting a couple of three-pointers and then a put-back dunk to help the Mavericks go up 99-95, and the Mavericks did not look back from there as Kristaps Porzingis made his presence felt after not making such presence felt against the Houston Rockets, where he did not attempt a single shot in that decisive fourth quarter in a disappointing loss to the Rockets. I asked Kristaps Porzingis after the game about how good it felt for him to get 3 immediate touches, hit a couple of back-to-back threes, and helping the Dallas Mavericks put this thing away against the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's what Kristaps Porzingis had to say.
Hey, KP, after coming off of a fourth quarter against Houston where you didn't take a shot, how important was it for you to come into the fourth quarter in this game and make an immediate impact with 3 touches immediately coming back in?
Yeah, no, it felt good. It felt good to, just come in right away, hit that, bump fake 3, and then just, after you hit one like that, you feel good. You feel in a good rhythm, and got a couple more, and that was it. Made a good run, and we're able to seal the game.
So Kristaps Porzingis understanding and recognizing that it was his time to shine, coming in a concerted effort by his teammates to get involved early and often once he came back in the fourth quarter to really put a stamp on this game, where he, in the fourth quarter alone, scored 11 points, also was able to contribute with 4 rebounds, had a terrific assist on a Dorian Finney-Smith 3, and really helped the Dallas Mavericks with a plus 17 plus minus turn things around. At one point, a plus 20 turnaround, with the Dallas Mavericks being down 4 to start the fourth quarter and then being up by 16 when he eventually left the game late in the fourth quarter. This was a game where the Dallas Mavericks turned things up defensively in the fourth quarter, holding the Milwaukee Bucks to just 5 of 25 from the field. Chris Middleton on the fourth quarter alone went 2 of 10 in that decisive fourth quarter. For this game, Dorian Finney-Smith was the defensive player of the game as he helped defend on Chris Middleton, where he shot 6 of 27 from the field, was a negative 24 in the plus-minus category with only 14 points. Also, Josh Richardson did a terrific job in this game defending Jrue Holiday, where he only went 6 of 16 from the field, holding Jrue Holiday to a poor shooting night himself, only 13 points. He was a negative 24 also. I asked Josh Richardson after the game about the resiliency of this team, who found themselves up by 8 at one point, then in the final 1 minute and 58 seconds of the third quarter, allowed the Milwaukee Bucks to go on a 12-0 run to be down by 4 going into the fourth, and then the Mavericks making that comeback. Here's what Josh Richardson had to say about the resiliency of the comeback tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Hey, Josh, can you speak to the resiliency of this team after getting down at the end of the third quarter, but then coming back in the fourth quarter, outscoring them 36-17?
Oh, 36-17.
Yeah.
That's tough. I didn't even know that. But, I think it just, like you said, our resiliency. And we got guys on our team who understand, it's a long game. Guys are coming to the huddle frustrated, understandably, but, we kind of regrouped and said we just – 12 minutes. It's a 12-minute street fight that we got to make this right now.
So Josh Richardson even was surprised himself at the fact that the Dallas Mavericks outscored the Milwaukee Bucks 36-17 in that decisive fourth quarter, and was able to, again, turn up the defensive heat on a Milwaukee Buck basketball team that really played well in the first half. Dante DiVincenzo was doing well from the three-point line, had 4 3-pointers in the first half alone. Brook Lopez was killing the Dallas Mavericks in the inside, and outside, had 13 first-half points, at one point going 6 of 7 from the field, also shooting well from the three-point line. It wasn't like, though, that the Milwaukee Bucks shot well, particularly in this basketball game. When you look at how they finished overall, they took 100 shots and only made 38 of them, finishing 38% from the field. The Dallas Mavericks shot 50% from two, going 26 of 52, shooting 44% overall in this basketball game. Luka Doncic, though, did pick up his 12th technical foul. Now, if you remember, 16 technical fouls get you an automatic one-game suspension, so that's something to watch going forward, as the Dallas Mavericks are now 29-22 at 51 games through the season with 21 games left. It'll be interesting to see how Luka Doncic manages himself, because now with 12 technical fouls, he really becomes on that radar where he could potentially get a 16th technical foul, which would mean an automatic one-game suspension. Rick Carlisle saying after the game that, yes, he is aware and slightly concerned, obviously, but understands that Luka Doncic is a smart basketball player and will do what he has to do to ensure that he does not put himself in position where he will get that 16th technical foul. In this game, Luka Doncic was spectacular also. He had 27 points, was a plus 18, and let's not forget that Kristaps Porzingis in this game, 26 points, 17 rebounds. A lot of the conversation, and even what we've talked about, the conversation about the on-court chemistry between Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis in the 2 threes that Kristaps Porzingis made immediately coming back into the fourth quarter with that 8:01 mark left in the fourth quarter. Both of those three-pointers were assisted by Luka Doncic. Porzingis was asked after the game about the on-court connection between himself and Luka Doncic. Here is his interesting answer about that connection between Luka Doncic and himself. Judge for yourself on whether or not Kristaps Porzingis ducked or dodged the question about his on-court connection with Luka Doncic.
Yeah, hey KP. What would you say your connection level is like on the court with Luka? And those 2 fourth quarter threes you hit were passes from him. But I don't know if you're aware, but fans watch you guys on the court, see how much you interact. And I thought Twitter was going to go nuts when you guys knuckle tapped tonight.
Yeah, we're trying to play together and help each other. And we want to win at the end. We all want to win here, and that's it. We have to keep playing together and keep playing well and help each other.
So Kristaps Porzingis taking the quote-unquote high road, if you will, and answering that question about whether or not his on-court connection with Luka Doncic is where it needs to be, saying, look, we all want to win here, and we want to help each other win basketball games, which is honestly the generic answer that you would expect from a guy in that position, where a lot of the conversation has been about whether or not these two can find the kind of consistent chemistry together that will allow them to win games long-term together, knowing how things sometimes have gone down between these two. At times, Luka Doncic not passing the ball to Kristaps Porzingis when he was wide open for shots. That did not happen in this game. A concerted effort was made by Doncic, especially when Kristaps Porzingis re-entered the game in the fourth quarter, to be able to get him into the kind of rhythm that he felt like he needed to in order to contribute to this win for the Dallas Mavericks, who now find themselves a couple of days off before they welcome the San Antonio Spurs in, then turning around and hosting the Philadelphia 76ers. A really important win against a team that, yes, did not have Giannis Antetokounmpo in this basketball game. He was out due to left knee soreness. But most importantly, the resiliency coming back from a disappointing loss in Houston, where they had a poor fourth quarter performance, especially down the stretch. They were able to turn that around in this game against the Milwaukee Bucks and find themselves keeping their cool. You heard Josh Richardson talk about the 12-minute street fight that they had to find themselves in the fourth quarter. With Luka Doncic picking up his 12th technical foul, things seemed to be uneven, especially in the first half, where both teams did not shoot the ball particularly well from the outside in the first half. It turned much more into a slugfest and more physical in the second half, but more importantly, the Dallas Mavericks found themselves keeping their own composure, being able to stay in it. In this game, they out-rebounded the Milwaukee Bucks 56-52. Obviously, there was a ton of opportunities to collect defensive boards in this game, as they collect 41 defensive boards, as the Milwaukee Bucks shot just 38% only hitting 38 of 100 shots taken. But this was about the collective effort from Dorian Finney-Smith doing a yeoman's job on an all-star and Chris Middleton. Obviously, what Josh Richardson did in terms of his defensive prowess in this basketball game also, not just contributing the 14 points that he did going a plus 26, but the terrific job he did against Drew Holiday in this basketball game, as we mentioned, going 6 of 16 from the field. So, yes, a game where you did not see Giannis Antetokounmpo play, but at the same time, still one of the best teams in all of the NBA and in the Eastern Conference are the Milwaukee Bucks. And to get this confidence win against this team, it was a statement that needed to be made by the Dallas Mavericks as they head into a couple of days off with respect to them being off on Friday, practicing on Saturday to get ready for DeMar DeRozan and the San Antonio Spurs on Sunday before they welcome in MVP candidate Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. This is a game of runs, and you saw that especially in the second half where the Dallas Mavericks got down by 4 entering in the fourth quarter. But give credit to Luka Doncic getting Kristaps Porzingis involved early and often when he came back in. The yeoman's job that Dorian Finney-Smith did on Chris Middleton, and also what Josh Richardson did on Drew Holiday, and clamping down in that decisive fourth quarter alone. The Dallas Mavericks held the Milwaukee Bucks to just 5 of 25 from the field, really locking down defensively in the fourth quarter, where we've seen this team, especially in the second half, be able to be much better on the defensive end, finding themselves hovering around the top 10 in terms of defensive rating since February 6th, and also overcoming a first quarter deficit. Coming into this game, the Dallas Mavericks were just 9 and 20 when being down after the first quarter. They, quote-unquote, improve to 10 and 20 after being down in the first quarter, which is a good sign for a team not quitting, not giving up, but more importantly, keeping their composure and allowing the game to come to them. And they do so with great defense in the fourth quarter and a reemergence of Kristaps Porzingis, who we've talked about potentially have been disappearing in fourth quarters, with the biggest evidence of that and what you saw against the Houston Rockets. He made his presence felt and ensured that he put his stamp on this basketball game, finishing with the 26 points and 17 rebounds, 11 of those defensive rebounds, going 4 of 7 also from downtown. So now this Dallas Mavericks team is now 29 and 22 on the season. They are now 13 and 10 at home this year also. Now have an opportunity to welcome in the San Antonio Spurs after a couple of days off to continue to build this momentum, as they have several key home games coming up against the Spurs and the Philadelphia 76ers, and later on this month when they welcome in teams like the Los Angeles Lakers going forward as they try to make their way up the Western Conference standings. 116-101, the Dallas Mavericks get the win, outscoring the Milwaukee Bucks 36-17 in the fourth quarter. A statement made by the unicorn Kristaps Porzingis, 11 big fourth quarter points to help the Dallas Mavericks get back on track after the disappointing loss to the Houston Rockets. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to, again, to hit that subscribe button for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. And this has been another episode of The Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.